Hello and welcome to the Excel part of the video. Sorry it's taken me a while to get to this. After 2 days of sitting in front of the screen, I just needed a day off, and then yesterday I had quite a lot to do. So what we've got to do now, it says your manager has asked you to develop a spreadsheet about telephone calls using a suitable software package, which for my class will be Excel across the world, whatever a spreadsheet package you've been using. So it says load the file n8phone.csv and save it into your own area as n8phone1. Okay, so what I would do is I would open up a fresh Excel sheet. Now make sure please that you are on cell A1, because that's what we always work from, because obviously you're going to be using certain formulas and you're going to be using certain cell references. So from there I would go to, I think it's in data, yep, data, from text, then find wherever your files are saved. Past papers, yeah, and we're on paper 3, so it's N8 phone, import it, so go to next, and we're not tab, we are comma separated values, that's what CSV stands for. Next, finish, press OK, and there we are, we're all ready to go. And now the next one says So I'm just going, oh, so annoying. It never takes any notice of what I'm doing. Right, so I'm just going to save, basically keep these screens going side by side because it's just a bit easier. Right, the next one is we've got to save another file in our area, which is N8 code. So save that to your own work area. Mine, it's already in my work area, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. Okay, so what we need to do, it says in the minutes column, which is cell D11. So remember, you go along the corridor and down the stairs. What you then do, it says use the function to calculate the whole number of integer of minutes for each call by dividing the duration by 60. Okay, so int is basically dot, sorry, not dot, equals int. Okay, so dot int. Now, so I go equals, this is very simple to do. int stands for integer, which means just round it off to a whole number. So it will either round it up or round it down. So you won't get, say, 5.36. It'll be a whole number. So it says D11, calculate the whole number of calls by dividing the duration here, and 60, because obviously there's 60 seconds in a minute. Okay, and just press enter. And there you go, so that would be 5 minutes. So it's rounded that up or it's rounded it down. So replicate this function so the minutes of each call are shown. So replicate means using relative cell referencing. We just simply pull this down and it would replicate this all the way down. And there we have it. Okay. Right, so now we're moving on to seconds. So it says here, in seconds column, cell E11, which we're on, you can see it says there E11. Calculate the number of remaining seconds for each call using a formula. Duration, which is minus, and you can see the brackets here, so they're basically giving you the formula. Minutes multiplied by 60, okay? So it's all we do is equals duration minus, so always read the exam papers because they're actually helping you out, funny enough. So there's the duration and the minutes times by 60. Close the brackets, press enter, then it says replicate this formula. So we're going to replicate this formula. And there we are. Okay, now I assume we're moving on to length. So it says in a length column, cell F11, which we're on, use an if function to show if the minutes are less than 6, then show the word short. If the minutes are greater than 5 and are less than 12, show the word medium. If the minutes are greater than 11, show the word long. Now, if there's 3 on this, then what they're doing is they want you to complete a nested if. Now, in my class, we did do nested ifs. If you haven't done them, go to Moodle, where my exercise is, and go to and select the link to say ifs or nested ifs, and practice them, please, okay? Because I don't doubt they're going to come up in every exam, because most of the past papers I looked at, they have come up, so you need to know them. Right, so first of all, we follow what it says. Equals if, open up the brackets, and it says in a length column, so we're in the length, if the minutes are less than 6, here's one, minutes less than 6, okay? Then we want it to say short. Now, continuing, so now we need to do another if. So you simply put a comma, if, open a bracket, the same cell, so type in D11. Okay, so if that is, I think we round this up to, so it says if they're less than 12, they're medium. If they're greater than 11, then we show the word long. Okay, so if greater than 11 or less than 12, okay, so I would go less than 12, then I would put medium, so always remember to put the words in commas, medium, just keep spelling it wrong, there we go, and anything else after that, so if it's going to be greater than, okay, so if it's going to be greater than 11, then basically it just defaults to long. Okay, so it's just logical. And make sure you close 2 sets of brackets at the end. So if less than 6, short. So anything between, say, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, then it's basically going to come out, I think, as medium. But anything above that, it will just revert to long. Okay, so let's press enter. Now I'm going to drag this down. So it takes a little while. There we go. Right, and if you double click up here, then that adjusts the cells. Right, so this calls 9 minutes, that's medium. This calls 5 minutes, that's short. Okay, all these calls here are short, so that's medium. So 14, that's long, so I guess we know it's worked. Okay, so try and find a call here, 12 minutes, that's long. Okay, so I think the call on 11 minutes should be either long or medium. So see if we can find any on that. Yep, medium, there we go, there's one there, medium. Okay, so that's worked, so we've done that. Right, moving on. So it says, in the name column, use a lookup function to show the staff name. Use the S code column to look up the value to the external file N8 code CSV for the array. Make sure you use both absolute and relative cell referencing with your application. So here we are, here's the name. So, and there's the S code. So now we need the file. Right, so we're going to go to, so I'm going to go to the files. Sorry, I moved this out of the way. Just going to minimize this so I can get to my files, because the timer bar basically sits in the way of my files. So here's N8 code CSV, so I'm just going to open it. Here we go, it's open. Right, so looking at our exam paper, and the exam paper says, right, in the name column, name, here we are. Use the lookup value to show the staff name using S code. S code. Okay, so this is what we're looking up. okay, and use the external file N8 code for the array. Okay, so the table that it's looking up is here. Okay, N8 code, and it's going to look up column number 2. Okay, so because it's already got these codes, so it needs column number 2. Let's crack on. Okay, so fx v lookup, because remember it's vertical. Okay, right, lookup value is here, so this is the value I want you to look up, and the value I want you to look up is in this table here. The column I want you to look up, oh, it seems to have a problem with something. Didn't have a problem earlier when I practiced. Okay, that should be alright. Column I want you to look up is here. Okay, and the range should be false. I've got a feeling this is not going to work for some unknown reason, so I might have to pause the video and find the problem. No, I've done that right. P2, yeah. No, it's got a problem with it. Okay, I'm going to pause the video and figure out the problem. Right, picking up where I left off, apologies for that. It turns out there was nothing wrong with what I was doing. What it is, my mouse is incredibly sensitive, and what I didn't notice was every time I was selecting a table, it was deselecting it and selecting one cell. So it picked up on that error there to say that there was nothing to look up. Right, so VLOOKUP, and the lookup value, as you know, should be S code. Table and array, and I'm going to be ultra careful this time. So selecting my table, make sure it's still selected, moving my mouse slowly across, and column index is 2 because we want it to look up this second column here to tell us the staff name. And a range lookup is false because there is no logic, there's no A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's already, now if it may do this because I have 2016. But it's already put my absolute cell reference in. If it doesn't for you, make sure please that the cell references are absolute by putting the dollars in front of the column and the dollars in front of the row. Okay, so but like I said, because I'm on 2016, it may just do that for me. I'm not sure. So I'm going to press OK. Now we can replicate that because I've used my absolute cell referencing, and it looks up the staff names. Okay, right, I've got 2 minutes left. Let's see if I can go through this last bit. No, I won't have time because it's some if. Okay, so next one is in cell C2, use a function that includes both absolute and relative cell references to calculate the sum of minutes in the column in S code that creates GBA. Contains GBA. So when it contains a certain thing, then that is some if. Okay, do not include rows 1 to 10. So that means don't include these rows here. Okay, we include everything in this array here. Okay, so look out for my next video where I'm going to do that with you. Okay, and as I said, make sure you are following my videos and you're not just sitting there watching them. You need practice. It's a practical exam. You need to do the practice. I cannot stress that enough. Okay? Right. Ciao for now.